Well then, it's been an incredible semifinals already. It was very one-sided on the first map. Second map, it was an incredible comeback for Dignitas. And now we're going to go into the third map. It's a Virtus.pro versus Dignitas to decide who's going to face up against Cloud9 in the grand finals.
Been up and down roller coaster, honestly, for both teams. VP looked almost untouchable. It really did remind me of like the golden age of VP, where they just wrecked everybody at lands for those first 12, 13 rounds of Mirage. And then Cobblestone started great, ended horrifically. They managed to bring back a few rounds towards the end, but what happened when that CT half for the 75% of it or so?
I don't even know. Magic certainly had a big part to play, and it did play extremely well in that game. It seemed like Virtus.pro just sort of ran out of steam. Now they've had a chance to reset, and we're going to be going into Overpass, which is good fun. Good map, I think, to end on.
Absolutely. Both teams solid on this map. My personal favorite map to cast, so I'm down. I'm definitely down.
I wonder if they've got anything special prepared for us. We've seen on Mirage how Virtus.pro was very prepared for one of the pistol rounds at least, and there were some really good calls made from Dignitas. So I'm wondering if we're going to see any really good sign of some good homework being done, especially in the pistol rounds. I feel like it really matters. You know, you've got a real good idea what the other team might be doing.
Absolutely, for sure. And it looks like we're just about ready to jump into the first pistol of the last map of the last semi-finals. The winner of this moves across to face Cloud9. They effectively called out VP, Automatic saying he'd rather play against them out the two teams. Let's see if his wish is granted. It's actually not the pistol, it's the knife. GG, well played.
It's the knife. You never know. You never know. It's always a bit of a mystery, but that's good news. That means we can see who starts on what side. Taz on the screen here was dropping 30 plus kills, I think, at the end. It's a very impressive play from him, obviously. And starting on the CT side, I think it's going to be a bit of relief for either team. This is a map where, unlike on Cobblestone, you have so many options as a CT for how to control the pace and how to be aggressive if you want. Like, you really make up your own mind about exactly how you want to play. And it's not necessarily easy for the terrorist team to rush almost anywhere. I mean, B, yes, but people don't do that so much anymore.
Knife was run by VP, so assume they're going to start on the CT side. Indeed, they will. So let's see how they're going to aggress this. For me, connector control is vitally important for both teams. And VP certainly have the kind of plays. And this is a map where I feel playing aggressive on the CT side can definitely be beneficial. And we saw just how aggressive they were on Mirage. So it wouldn't surprise me to see VP play hyper-aggressive, at least in the first few rounds, and see what sticks. But there's no doubting the momentum is firmly in the hands of Dignitas, who looked distraught after the first map. So great mental fortitude to bounce back the way they did.
See who's going to have the stamina to play a third map here after that last grueling one. It's going to be hard to keep it up. Dignitas, Rubino already starting off with the smoke flashbang combination and an upgraded pistol, and that's pretty much all he has. And then it's Glock armor for everybody else. So that would suggest a sort of a less deep tactic coming into place and more sort of the run and gun. And they haven't stopped running it. In fact, they're running into the B bomb site. Magic leading the charge. MSL runs into two, and he's going to be going down. Pasha following up with a kill, and B-Ali finally the first one to go down here for Virtus.pro. But on the bomb site, they are in there trying to see if they get the bomb plant down. Knifing in the smoke. What is going on? Neo was in there. Snax is going down. Neo to fall next. That might have been a bit too much. Magic with 3 kills. And now it's Pasha and Taz.
Both from short side, though, so they're going to have to try and split up here to get a two-pronged attack. But Magic takes away Pasha. And now suddenly it's all on Taz, and he can't get anything done. And it's going to be an ace for Magic's. Unreal for Dignitas. And it looks so bad at the start. They lost 2 players on short.
That should have been the perfect start. That is one half of the attack gone. That means you know everyone else is coming in from the other side. So just turn around, control the bomb site, and even if they get the bomb down, so what? they've got almost nowhere to fall back. But then Neo was knifing in the smoke, and Magic landed an ace in the pistol the third game. Why not? I think that means Dignitas get the better start this time around. Unbelievable.
Interesting, too, to see how they approach this buy as opposed to on Cobblestone. So Cobblestone, they had 4 AKs and 1 UMP. This time 3 UMPs and the 2 AK-47s. So different change of pace.
I would almost use that as a metric for how confident they're feeling. I think that that 4 AK buy was one that came off the bat of a very dangerous situation. It felt like they had to sort of really double down and be safe. Now they're more interested in the money.
UMP, of course, very much a potent gun in these sort of scenarios. Double Scout is also an interesting purchase. There are elements of the Jump Scout being very powerful in the likes of Long and A-Side over the boxes, but it doesn't leave much room for error for Virtus.pro. So high risk, high reward. Dignitas with a very much a snail attack so far. Not going in at all. Config, the only player to start to push the envelope, and that's going to be over in the A side. Meanwhile, the CZ from Bjarly picks up 2 frags in quick succession, and there's Taz with another one. Dignitas crumbling in their buy. Config still lurking on the other side, but the frags are being exchanged, and now it's all on Config. The bomb is under control for Virtus.pro.
15 seconds though, so he can't stop. He just has to run all throughout here. And even when he gets there, how does he actually stop? How does he get the bomb down anywhere? He's just running in here. That's the only choice he's got. There's nothing else he could do. He doesn't have time to put the bomb down, so Neo's already won the round, and Config can't find him, and that's going to be the end of it. Big comeback from Virtus.pro right at the beginning. And Bjarly obviously at the forefront of that with those C-set 75 pickups.
2 frags for him, 1 for Taz, both on the B side, back to back. Unreal. And you can see Dignitas will have to dip in and almost spend all of their money. Only $50 remain on the entire side. Tech 9s with a couple of grenades spread between the players. VP have 3 SMGs, including 2 MP9s. Very powerful up close and personal, which is where Snax is using it on short A. And he's about to see action. He can hear the footsteps, the pitter-patter of terrorists to his left-hand side, and out he will explode with 1 frag. It should be more than that. There's a second one. He is very low, so he's got to be careful. He's trying to back away while shooting. Will eventually cost him his life, but the damage has been inflicted. Too much for Dignitas to deal with. Config, 31 health with the bomb.
It'd be great if he could get the bomb down, but Bjarly is right on the other side here, so it would have to be a really fast headshot, and that's not going to be this round. 2-1, and moving into the 4th round without the bomb plant, and actually even with the bomb plant, they wouldn't have gone for any kind of a buy-up here. It seemed to be too close, so they managed to do a tiny bit of damage, but I don't think enough to make it necessarily worth their while. See if they could do anything in the 4th round here. They've got 1 smoke and a lot of Glocks. What is that about?
I think it's just get a plant at all costs, really. It's the best they can hope for. Magic's going to be throwing it over first, but, I mean, Taz is just going to line them up and knock him down. 3 kills for Taz. Bjarly with the other 2, a full house of kills. Virtus.pro cleaning house. But you wouldn't expect too much. As you said there, Anders, it was full Glocks and a smoke. Such a low investment.
That's so incredibly optimistic, isn't it, though?
Yeah.
Did you really think that on maybe another map, Nuke, maybe you could get into the bomb site, but not this time. Maybe on Train.
It's asking a lot. It would be more of a failure, I think, of VP more than anything else if you got a plant down in that situation. Sentry will stop the monster push for now. At Dignitas, you can see them lining up, ready to pounce. They have a Molly lined up for the barrels. Neo's not going to be pulling back there. Instead, he takes a couple of AK shots and just drops into the water. The spray's on point, takes negligible damage, and also secures himself the frag. But Config hops on top of the bomb and reclaims bomb to try and plant. They haven't gone for it just yet, though. They're waiting. Obviously worried about a potential flank, and they should be, because here comes Pasha from the backside. This could be the key integral part of this potential retake, but he needs the rest of his team to stay alive a little while longer so he can get himself close enough to do something here.
clock is definitely ticking now. And they are trying to communicate. You can tell right now they're just holding off at the moment. 3 versus 4. They do have a kit picked up. Pasha now going to be sneaking in. Does he spot anybody? There's almost no targets for him here. Snacks picks up one, but then it's all up to Pasha and he goes down. It was a good idea. I mean, well played on Virtus.pro for really being that patient. But that's Dignitas winning the round with a very measured push. They just wait for the initial grenades from Virtus.pro to disappear, and then they go for it. This is Dignitas winning some good rounds on T side here, and it's happening in spite of Rubino and MSL killing nobody yet. Both of them are on 0 frags.
And the main issue there for VP is they only have Neo on the site by himself. So even though he gets the 1 kill, he does get traded out, and from there on in, Dignitas effectively just plant their flag on the site and claim it for themselves. VP will have a buy, including an AWP. It's going to be in Snacks. I love how aggressive he is with it in Connector. Unfortunately for him, Dignitas aren't going to be playing here just yet. Going up long. Look at how aggressive MSL's pushing in right now. All by his lonesome almost. He's going to get right round the back. The spray down takes a little while longer than maybe he anticipated, but still the frag goes their way. Neo is going to use the smoke as his ally with the spray. The bomb's been dropped. There's a second player there on the other side of the box, and it's going to be MSL, who is so low on 29 health. He's got time, but he doesn't have the bomb, and he doesn't have a life anymore. He is dead. VP regain the 2-round lead.
Solid round from Neo. That push to the smoke couldn't have been any better, it seems, and they just weren't ready for it. I'm not even sure they realized he was there to begin with, so it's not just that they counted on the smoke sort of working out, they just didn't even know he was behind it. So 4-2, and moving into the 7th round, we've got 4 deals in play, and Dignitas into an uncomfortable pattern here that allows them to win a round and then they lose the next one, and that can't go on forever. They got to string some rounds together at some point here.
Definitely. They do have 4 deagles to play with in this round. The grenades lands by the feet of Config. He's going to take some of his threat away, and he decides better of sticking around short for too much longer. This time VP do have more players on the B site, one of which is going to be Taz, who gets the assist alongside Bialy. Config falls down, but you can see the rest of the terrorists coming up A. Nice shot from Snacks, quick reaction speed. A couple smokes have been planted. Snacks, he's on a bit of a tear, misses that shot, but Pasha's there to clean it up. And now Cajun in the smoke of Bathroom, just watching his comrades fall around him with the Glock. Nothing he can do. Flawless round for VP.
Still some terrifying shots coming out of Snacks there. You have to realize that's just dead on point. 5-2. Dignitas again, just still not enough money. They need to do more damage, and they need bomb plants to get a better economy for themselves. Just get at least 2 kills per round and get the bomb plant down. That would be huge. They are running for the B-bomb site here once again. They've got flashbangs and a smoke still, but a good shot there. A little bit of a boost coming out. MSL is already down, and now the counter grenades are coming out. And Virtus.pro, how do they possibly stop this? Bialy getting up 1 kill, and actually the rest of the Dignitas have really slowed down. I thought they'd at least try and get on the site, but they sort of divert from that and end up taking a fight at Connector.
Config will get the better of that trade, but still 3 players. Not much hope. And you did raise a really good point there, Anders. In the rounds that Dignitas have lost, they haven't got a single plant. So it's not just a case of, oh, they narrowly lost a round, or they got the bomb plants, their economy ticks forward. No, they've been completely shut out.
This is definitely not a good position to be in. 6-2, the scoreline. And Agent Rubino at a 007 scoreline right now. That's not great either.
And he really stood up on Cobblestone, so...
He did.
It's worrying in a lot of different aspects, unfortunately. Look at Bialy's aggression there. The balls on this guy. Right through the smoke, right through the flames. In a great position, and they also have Taz watching Connector, so fantastic crossfire. And so much information as well that's been given across to the rest of VP.
Some Connector control for the T side though, and apart from Bialy, it's a little bit more defensive this time. Neo though down at Monster Tunnel, also trying to take some shots with the EWP, and Pasha could be falling back into the bomb site. Still more than a minute left. This time the bomb is all the way over at long, and backup is being called for. Bringing Magisk as well eventually. Rubino actually covering from the back line, and that might be very valuable soon.
Yeah, you can see that Bialy is really flirting with the idea of trying to get up around the back and maybe flank and see if he can get some more info for his team. They have backed away from short for now. Taz going onto the A side, so the rotation leaves them a little bit thinner spread on B. But now Rubino, he's going to move in with the rest of his team. Now Bialy, of course, the timing will start to push up round the back, and very reminiscent of Pasha's flank on the other side. This is just a matter of timing. If Bialy can get up there in the next few seconds, it could be a bloodbath, but it looks as though Dignitas are going to punch the green button and start to just force their way onto the site. There is a chance that maybe a boost coming in as Snax gets over, lands the first shot. Pasha, in the meanwhile, has put a player down, and now it's going to be Bialy's flank that comes to fruition. The first kill and the second kill go his way, leaving Config, and 7 seconds to get it done. Not going to happen. VP, another huge round where it counts.
Outplayed in that particular round. The flank coming through, the boost over the box, everything working out beautifully. And I love the idea of boosting over that box with the smokes being down. Very, very good play coming out. 7-2 the scoreline now. Dignitas, they won the pistol, they lost 3 in a row, then they won a single round, and now they've lost 4 in a row. This has got to change, but the problem keeps being they just don't have the money to invest into these rounds.
The problem keeps being they don't get the plants when they lose the rounds. That's been a consistent factor. They're just not getting onto the sites. It goes to show how well VP have been defending the sites themselves. That's a bit of a rough chain of events as far as Snax is concerned, and also Pasha, who both go down, leaving B relatively open, barring Neo, who can only get the 1 kill. Close range Tech 9 is too much to contend with. 4 on 2. Bomb hasn't been planted just yet, but it's about to be put down from Rubino.
When he's not going to get that kill, MSL. Taz getting 1 in return. Bialy picking up 1. The bomb is only just down. They've got so much time on the Polish side to work with here. Rubino, bit of a crazy shot coming out, and he's tagged very low. He goes for it again. Not going to hit it. Taz to pick it up instead, and Cajun goes down. Triple kill for Taz as they reclaim that 2 on 4. What a shame for Dignitas. Man.
That could be the round that breaks their back again. Look at the score. Look at the possibilities that Dignitas could have bounced back from. Yes, it was in effectively an eco with a few upgraded pistols, and they are able to afford full buy here, but that's the first time they've got the bomb planted in a round they've lost. And it still went wrong. A 2v4 retake. That's so demoralizing.
They got the equipment this time. It isn't over yet. You can have some really impressive runs on the CT side of Overpass and still be in trouble on the T side. But we really need to see something out of Dignitas right about now. Snax already picking up MSL, and on the other side here, waiting in the corner, Bialy. They're not checking. He gets the 1 and goes for a second. He's out of bullets and ends up dropping, but Pasha to pick up the kill anyway and sprays almost a second one. Rubino, first kill of the map for him, and that's going to be a 2 on 2.
We'll see Rubino on 4 health, and, well, he is now the last remaining terrorist. Time working with him. All 3 remaining players have ops. Rubino plucks out the frag onto Neo, and this is where... okay, then. Rip.
Oh, the least exciting 1v1 of the semi-final, at least.
It's like, don't worry, boys. 4 health means nothing in... Oh, okay, HE to the face.
I feel like Snax ruined that for us, because it would have obviously been great. You know, that was a chance for Rubino to get a triple in the round. It could have been a 1v1 or battle, you know, it doesn't matter how much health they have.
Yeah, exactly.
So it could have been a gentleman's fight, but not this time.
The touchdown was real. Dignitas again, so close yet so far. Full round loss bonus, though, is going to be finding its way across to the Danes. Snax with the first frag again. Super aggressive in connector will reap the rewards, and this puts Dignitas instantly on the back foot. See, MSL is actually trying to lurk by himself over towards Playground. Maybe he could be the difference maker, but Snax is already pushing up hyper aggressive, and that's with an AWP. He's just be running in with the P250 and seeing what he can get done. Rubino will claim a kill onto Bialy, bringing us back to a 4 on 4.
There's just no explaining it. It's a bit sad for Snax that he's not going to run into a big stack over there. Config will be taking down Neo, and that's a 3 on 3. So somehow that lurk from Snax not really paying off, but a good shot from Pasha to take down Config now. Cajun and Rubino. Bomb is only just going down as we speak. Rubino really waking up in the last 2 rounds. That's a double kill for him in this round again. Making up for a lot of the previous ones. Snacks coming in from behind with the Molotov, but he gets caught. Rubino to get the triple kill. And now it's all on Taz here. 1-on-2, and he gets shut down. A big round, and especially for the Norwegian player here. 3-9 the scoreline, and moving into the 13th.
Much better for Dignitas. Pasha only has 2k, so someone's going to need to drop across to him. This is going to deplete the funds pretty rapidly.
It wasn't always clear, but it turns out when you play the game 5v5 instead of 4v5, it's just way easier.
Who knew? Madness.
I'm glad that we got some science on this, and Rubino tested it out for us for 9 rounds in a row.
But this is Dignitas' challenge. You know, if they can get 5 or 6 rounds, this game's back on. They have every chance on their CT side to get this back in their favor. We've already seen them come back from a high deficit on Cobblestone. So they're still battling in this. We still can't pull this off.
Snacks playing close in the bathrooms. He's about to run into 2 targets. Actually, he falls back, which might be the good choice here. Don't want to give up too much early on. A very normal setup right now for VP with 3 in the A-bomb site. They are really far back, so they don't have that much information. But if it were a normal sort of smoke execute towards A, then some of them would be in decent positions anyway. Rubino doing him damage over here, but Pasha, for one, would be in a great position if they smoke too far back.
I'm curious what the play for Rubino is here. If he's going to try and be a pain in the backside or just hold down the fort while the rest of the team rotate. And it seems to be the latter of those options. They were in the mid still. This is why connector control is so vital for the terrorists. It allows you to do this. Now it's going to be MSL that is playing the bait over on A. Meanwhile, Rubino is doing some damage. Oh, he gets knifed. That is such a sketchy fight, but it goes the way of Dignitas with the bomb planted. And with VP shelling out quite a few dollars on drops, their economy is flat out broken. If they lose this, they'll likely be into an eco, and then Dignitas can start to claw their way back. Pasha is going to try and make sure that doesn't become a reality, forcing his way out in a 1-on-2. Doesn't have a kit, however. This is going to be really rough, and Magic takes him out. Point blank range. 4 rounds for Dignitas, but it should be more.
MSL showing some real dedication to the cause, I feel like, running into the A-bomb side alone, knowing that he probably wasn't going to make it out, and the rest obviously running back to B and almost getting knifed as well, but still really good job. And that's 9-4, 14th round coming up. This could have finished 9-6, which honestly at that point I feel like we've got a sort of fairly even game on our hands again, weirdly, in spite of a huge streak from Virtus.pro, winning 6 rounds in a row in the middle of this first half here. They are not out of the woods yet.
Certainly not. Grenade. Ooh. That must have been very close to landing on Snax' head. Probably would have killed him.
Those stairwells, they just absorb, you know, grenade fragments.
It seems so. Magic still in connector. Trying to control this for himself, and now Config with the Mac 10 is going to put it to use. Super aggression. Money in the bank, 2 frags, could be a third. Rubino takes it from under his nose. They're not going to care. Flawless round. And VP now with a buy into the last. And to be fair, only 3.8k on Pasha, so this is not going to be a great buy.
Tiny bit of space for Dignitas to work with. And again, do you want to point out they did win the pistol, but then lost the following 3 rounds? You have to sort of, you almost want to say, what if, you know, what if the only rounds that Virtus.pro got were this sort of streak of 6 in the middle here? That could have been a real possibility. But they are going to have some weapons to fight with, and the Max 7 in play, so it's got to be a bit careful. Nice shot from Snacks, but even better shot from Config.
Great way to start the round. Pasha to try and use the aforementioned Max 7 in connector. Magic's not going to allow him to reap any frags. Config down to 3 after Snacks dinked him. Great start for Dignitas. Again, turning their fortunes round. 3 assault rifles left in play on the side of the CTs. One of which is on B site, the other 2 lurking over on A. That's going to need to change, you have to feel, or it's going to have to be Bialy pulling off one hell of an individual effort to stave off the onslaught.
3 versus 5 right now. Bialy, he can see the shadow when they walk out there, so he knows he's going to pre-fire it, but he can't get MSL. Good backup there, and Taz going down. You've got to think this is it. 1 versus 4 for Neo. Absolute legend. We've already seen him ace in a pistol on this in the semi-final, but this is too much for him to handle. Config going to be going with the kill, and it's 9-6 here, moving into the second half. I mean, Dignitas still showing strength. Right at the end, they win 4 in a row. I am impressed. I wish they didn't have to test themselves this hard all the time. Maybe try and start off, you know, in a good way next time.
Yeah, to an extent, you know, almost their own worst enemy in some ways. But 6 rounds, honestly, is totally fine. Sure, this next pistol's important, but considering how it was looking like it could go down, with Dignitas on maybe 2 or 3 rounds at most, this is a vast improvement. So this game is well and truly in the balance. The pendulum of Counter-Strike continues to tick back and forth. Which team is going to stop it on their side, though? I think his pistol will definitely give us an indication, a pretty good indication of how things could go.
I'm curious what it's going to entail from VP's point of view. They did have some tactics on Mirage for the pistol, you know, buying plenty of utility. Dignitas on their T side were fairly quick, and Virtus.pro are setting up for something similar, but actually 2 smokes being purchased. Bit of a change.
Yeah, heavy investment in terms of VP. With the decoys as well, so curious to see what happens with that. Just throwing a few of them around. Dignitas will be very aggressively getting into short and connector, and the firefight just blasts away. It is going to go to Cajun and Config, both landing 1-taps. Pasha on the other side of the map, who was watching for the flank. All that remains. And the bomb is in a horrible spot. There's so many angles after opening the door, which will give you position away anyway, as to where the CTs could be. And you have to feel it's only a matter of time before Pasha gets headshot here.
Well, he's going to dish out one to Magic. Bomb is down there, so he has to get out somehow. Makes a jump for it, spots out Cajun, so pretty good job so far, but he's having to reload, and that's going to be the end of it. Great round there. Cajun with the double kill, and we did the math, and you know, about 63% of the audience thought that the 3rd kill was also Cajun's. You know, see how close that was? Config stole it, but it really looked like that was him getting a 3rd tap in.
I think Config got 2 frags before that as well, or 1 before and 1 after, so the 2 of them just slick Counter-Strike. Dignitas will have 3 SMGs. Again, very similar to their T round, which they ended up losing. They had 3 SMGs and the 2 AKs. VP all congregating together on bathroom side of A.
And I think we did lose our observer real quick, so we'll bring him back in the game right away. That's why we're watching the players here for a second. We'll try and radio cast as best we can. Currently, we're watching Virtus.pro actually making their way up onto the A-bomb side. They're doing a fantastic job. Taz with a kill, everybody with a kill now, just Config left. And in a 1-on-4. So this is actually a round where Virtus.pro, just like they did in the first half, they lose the pistol and then they come back and win the following round. There's no chance for Dignitas here.
Yeah, there's also 4 people alive on the side of VP, so they've taken all the weapons that Dignitas had, barring the MP7, which is in the hands of Config, going back towards T-spawn now to try and save. But Pasha is on the lurk, so Config is still playing this one incredibly slowly. Just trying to save. There you go, now you can see again towards T-spawn. And it looks like he will be able to save this, but as you can see, it's pretty much the weakest weapon that Dignitas had coming into this round. The rest of them have shifted hands. VP now in a fantastic position.
Dignitas, what can you really say? Again, they make a little bit of space for themselves. They must be starting to feel a bit good winning that pistol the way that they did, and then they can't hold on to it. Their reply is a scout. A lot of armor, 2C says that stolen MP7 and then the P250 on Magic. So we'll see if that's going to pay off here. What a tough position to be in.
Tough, but we've seen Dignitas have bounced back from worse, much worse. So can they return the favor? Can they break the hearts this time of Virtus.pro? 2 planes coming up long, including the bomb carrier of Pasha. Just behind the rock, and it's going to be Magic that has the task of maybe trying to fend this off. Decides better if it pulls himself back to A. But they will have 3 players on the A side, one of which is Cajun, who's trying to hop up and see if he can get a scout frag.
And it's such a shame. MSL and Config were just going for a massive flank, but they got caught by Taz, so they had to give up on that. It may still cause a lot of trouble for Virtus.pro because now they have to worry about someone. You can see Taz extremely paranoid that someone's sneaking up behind them. So VP, they need to make up their mind at some point and say, we're not going to wait around for them to flank us, even though they're not anymore, but VP don't know that. We just have to go somewhere and do something. Otherwise, they're going to run down the clock, I think, way too far. Rubino now pretty much behind enemy lines. They're right next to him. If they move forward up to the A-bomb site, then he's going to be the first warning.
He really could be the linchpin of this round. On 43 health, but he has the FAMAS. VP still not showing their hand, but they're about to. With 25 seconds, they're going to be forced to go all in. And Rubino's going to allow them both to go past him. Does get the first. The second player was actually in bathroom, so they know where he is, and he gets picked off afterwards, leaving the MP7 and CZ of MSL and Config with it all to do. Oh, the MSL CZ, though, is going to go to work. Lands the first headshot, and he's trying to recover this situation that looks almost impossible. Not too many bullets left to play with. No kit and good positions assumed from VP. Yeah, this is just going to go away from him. Nice try, but VP will have a 4-round lead now.
I think that initial flank there, they ran into T-spawn and then they just ended up taking that fight maybe a little bit too soon. I feel like they could have sort of walked up there and just got real close to Taz, and it would have been better. 11-7 the scoreline. It's only a 4-round gap. It can be managed from Dignitas, but that seems to have been the case for them this whole semifinals. They just don't have money to buy guns,
especially on the CT sides. That's where it's been the most prevalent.
Oh, they're doing something similar as to what we've seen SK do in the past, the Brazilian team. Stack up towards birthday with a flashbang.
Let's see if it pays off for them. The flash is about to be unleashed. Here come the CTs. You can see that Asher and his partner in crime of Neo are both flashed up, and in fairness to Dignitas, they have taken down 2 frags and exchanged the AKs. No Kevlar. So it's asking a lot, but at least in a round where it looked like they had no hope at all, they have a lifeline to try and use.
It is possible. Snacks, not interested in whatever it is MSL is selling. Going to be closing the door on him. Config and Rubino, 2 versus 3. Without armor and without a kit, just does not seem possible. Config will get the kill anyway with the USP. He seems to be on point with that. I feel like we've seen a lot of weird USP kills from him throughout this tournament.
Yeah, he's pretty savage with the USP. He's landed a lot of frags against full armored up opponents with AKs. But the problem for Dignitas is that they're now going to be trailing by 5 rounds. Good news, though, they get 2 AK-47s to take through into round 20.
Every little bit matters as the gap widens to 5 rounds between these two teams. Dignitas, I mean, at least everyone is sort of, you know, pinching in here. Again, 9 rounds into this game, Rubino had 0 kills. And now he's up at 12, actually 3rd on the scoreboard for his team, but not even that far behind Magic and Config. So individually, he's really stepped it up. And on the other team, it's a fairly even spread. So all players are in effect right now. Everyone is playing the game. Dignitas just half the time don't have money to buy. They need some really good strung together rounds here. Flashing their way in, the Magic pushing up. Oh, that's going to be tough. They're all coming for him around the corner. He's hiding up next to the wall. Now he's going to start the spray. He gets 1, then 2. He's still alive somehow. This should have been a horrible position to be in, but he takes 2. And now he's trying to fall back, and it looks like they're going to let him. Neo there to catch them as they come back into the bathrooms. Is he going to have the timing for it? They're running all the way back to A. It's slipping through their fingers, Virtus.pro here.
Bravo, Dignitas. That was a ballsy call, and it pays off fantastically. As he said, it could have gone horribly wrong. Neo trying to check his left-hand side. Problem is, as soon as he comes out here, it leaves himself vulnerable, actually. Magic doesn't need any backup. A 1-man wrecking crew in this round. 3 kills, and still very much alive. Snacks and Bialy have got their hands on the bomb, and 55 seconds in which to try and get it planted. It looks as though Long is their destination of choice. But this is asking a lot, Anders. I mean, surely there's no hope that they even get close to the site here.
This is one of those things you can only lose if you really try. You have to put effort into losing a round like this if you're Dignitas. If they go and peek long against Snacks and Bialy right now, then yeah, the AWP and the AK could take a really long fight with them. As Bialy already down 23 seconds and even being wrapped on here. Snacks with the knife out. Oh, actually, both with the knife out. And Snacks a little bit quicker. Putting an end to the triple kill for Magix. Not going to get a quad.
Pretty significant if Snacks can save this orb. So Dignitas will be relatively desperate to take that away. But the problem is that their economy is in no place to lose a bunch of weapons. So I feel like this is just going to be a standoff. Yeah, he is going to save the AWP, and that does bolster their buy. They're in a position now where they could force up. You've got 6.4k on Taz, Bialy on 3.6, Pasha was around 2,000, and Neo just has enough for an AK. So if they lose that AWP, they are into a really poor buy in this round, but as it stands, they can salvage it somewhat. It could be a Galil. Yeah, it's going to be a Galil for Pasha, but the rest of the team can buy.
Pivotal round coming up here. One of the ones where Dignitas can really switch it around again, which they've done so many times already, but not with this kind of a start. Rubino going down, and are they going to speed up behind it? It didn't look like Virtus.pro really wanted to. So just going to get the quick kill and then chill out for a minute.
It was Config. He managed to cross Monster, but the terrorists know this. You can use a smoke and try and escape. He's going to get picked on the cross. No. Elects to jump. The correct decision. Meanwhile, Magix gets round the back of the double spray down. Neo drops to his death. Gets domed on the way down. Beautiful trade. Magic again seems to be the man that just digs them out of these kind of precarious situations. Still 3 players alive for VP and a lot of time to play with, though. So this round far from over.
Individual play coming out of Magix right now. It's unbelievable. He's a playmaker, shot caller, the Tim Tebow of Counter-Strike. Right now, 4 on 3. I mean, I'm gonna have to go back and look up Magic's stats after this, just to marvel at what's happening. Config wedged up against the wall. A feature of the game engine that allows you to do that. Bialy falling back, but not quick enough. MSL gonna be able to take him out, and Snacks in a 1-on-3 here with 20 seconds. Again, this time it looks like he's not gonna try and save the AWP, but wants to go for the win. They can't buy in the next round if he doesn't get it. He's sneaking in 15 seconds. He can't see the shadow on the ground there. He should be able to because it's moving, but I think he's focused on something else right now, and it's still with the clock running down. He's gonna get the kill. Oh, what? He gets that headshot. Just for a brief moment, you thought that could happen.
We both jumped out of our chairs in unison as to what may have just occurred, but Cajun will put down the final kill. But to be fair to Snacks, taking those 2 weapons away now puts Dignitas in a sketchy situation where their economy's not great. They should farm this round, you would assume. But every amount of money taken away from the CTs will help in the long run. Magic, easy frag, backs away. We've already seen him play super aggressive in mid. No difference this round. Cajun gets Taz. He tries to return the favor. Dignitas looking to get double digits on overpass.
This game is so close right now. There's absolutely no calling it. You have to expect they can convert this into a 12-10 situation. And with the CT buyers on the map, I don't feel comfortable saying who's going to win at this point. It's anybody's guess. It really feels like Dignitas is starting to wake up again. Man, just sort of pulling them back into the game, saying, don't give up yet.
Well, in terms
20 kills.
In terms of the second half rounders, it's effectively 3-3. So it is going neck and neck. And the CTs just need to start to stamp their authority, and you'll quickly see the rounds go in the way of Dignitas. So it definitely is in the balance. It's on a seesaw right now, back and forth. Config takes the opportunity to just spray through the smoke. That could end up costing him dearly. He's going to get pushed down, but no, gets 2 frags on a 3rd and survives on 7 health.
Yeah, that's not in anybody's playbook either. For those of you watching, especially the kids, forget about what you just saw. Don't do that. Wipe it clean from your memory. That's so incredible. I thought for sure, you know, what's going to happen here is he's going to get flashed in by a teammate over the wall, and then he will try and push through the smoke. Even then would have been a terrible choice, but, you know, at least it would have made some sort of sense, but I don't know.
Because the nuts thing about that play, you're effectively putting yourself in a bottleneck, so any pistol bullets have a pretty solid chance of hitting you. Yeah, that's why it's so scary. MSL, though, pushes out a short, survives. That's a key part of the kill, that he manages to back away and keep the defense strong.
And then Magic winning a solitary fight over at long. When again, it's going to put so much pressure on VP pushing up here. Great shot from Cajun, taking down Neo. And in a 5-on-2, they're taking steps closer to Dignitas. This is getting incredibly uncomfortable for the Polish side. Snax and Bialy, they need bomb plants. This was the problem the Dignitas were facing when they were on the terrorist side. They just could not get that bomb down. And Virtus.pro is running into the same issue. Second kill for Magic, and he's finally going to be going down. Bialy doing a great job, but it's way too late. And Cajun will take him out. 11-12 the scoreline. They don't have the money to buy him. And Dignitas starting to develop a real bank here.
Yeah, 9.1k on config. A pause, which I assume will be tactical. See there that Taz far from happy with what's going on.
Is he crying?
Probably tears of anger more than anything else.
Pure rage.
Yep. I'm not sure what's happening here. They said timeout, but
I think they fixed whatever issue it was, and
right,
they decided to cancel the timeout, so all should be good.
I kind of assumed it would be tactical, but clearly not. All right, then. They're continuing this. Because as you say, they have been struggling to get the bomb plant, so I was curious if they would maybe try and figure out something else to try and exploit. Not the case.
Flashbang in the hands of Snax. Maybe they could set something fun up. I am seeing Bialy standing still for a minute, so maybe just had to clean out the dust and cat hair from his mouse. Who knows?
First kill of the round convincingly goes the way the CTs as expected, considering VP have very little on the board to play with. So Dignitas will be clawing their way back again. Remember, it was 8-2 at one stage to Virtus.pro on the first half, and we now find ourselves very close to all even. Bialy will be ripping through Magic with the Tech 9, and the bomb probably planted. Yes, indeed it will be. So now Neo will be playing a close angle on Bank, hoping he can get the one tap and convert it into a weapon. Lands it as well. 3-on-3 now. The round suddenly gets interesting.
Dignitas, they gotta pull through here. There's no armor on Virtus.pro. Landing any bullet right now will win them the battle. Neo getting close again, going for another headshot, but not gonna be this time. MSL takes him down. Bialy with a refrag instantly. That bomb ticking right in front of this. Not that much time left. Config charging up behind with the UMP. Gets one, but he's out of the round. Snax with a 1D. He's ducking to make himself a small target. Rubino gonna get it. And the defuse coming through. He can't make it. There is no time. Swallowed by the explosion as well. Virtus.pro 13-11. How do you win a round like that?
Every time you think that Dignitas are going to get a round definitely going their way, they lose it. They got the opening pick. It was a 4-on-3. Yes, the bomb got planted, but it's pistols against full nades and M-Force. What is happening? That could be the moment where Dignitas end up losing this best of 3. Now VP have a 2-round lead, and Dignitas' economy that was building nicely is starting to struggle a little bit.
Just imagine if they could convert the round after winning the pistol that they've done. They've won both the pistols on this map, but then lost both the subsequent rounds. Imagine if they just didn't do that, then they would already have won this map. They beat 17 rounds. We don't have to play for that long. Taz going to be falling back very defensively here. Doesn't want to take a fighting connector early on. But yeah, this is painful to watch. Dignitas setting themselves up so nicely and then not following through. What's Rubino doing? He's actually sliding into the corner. What a troll.
Thing is, though, VP have checked this spot quite a few times, so I don't think they'll be falling into this trap. Thing is, though, they've lost the first player. So that's going to put a bit of a full stop so far on this push. MSL's in connector.
Wow, that's actually a mad setup they have at B. I've never seen that before. Snax going to be getting the kill, and MSL, I hope to Christ they come back through the vents here. That would be incredible. But Bialy going to walk in from the other side. Rubino getting a kill. Magisk as well, taking out Taz. And suddenly it's a 2-on-3. Pasha and Snax are left Bomb being brought up, but lurking in from behind. It's Magisk, and you can't really underestimate him. He's done so many good plays this game. Snacks probably knew about it and has to put the bomb down on the other side.
Yeah, very intelligent. They had smokes on both the dumpster and bank, so they could safely plant here. They didn't have any eyes on the backside, so spray goes the way of Magic. Was really close up until the end. Could have easily gone the way of the terrorists, and now it's up to Pasha. There's the first frag, looking for a second one. Tries to spray, can't land it, and Rubino will best him. Dignitas, fair play to them. After losing a brutal retake, again, they reset mentally and pick up the next round.
Very, very well done. It looked like it was about to get out of control. 13-12. I really hope they try for that big defense again. I've never seen anything like that. You've seen people in Rubino's position, and you saw Config in the previous round all the way back. This time they actually had both those players sort of up against the wall, you know, hanging in the air. So if you're coming through there, you're going to run into Config first, and you won't check that corner that Rubino is, and I can't see anyone doing that ever again. But we'll see. It's going to be a bit of a quicker round, I think, this time, running into sewers, and could be a fast hit towards the B bomb site. Config a little bit alone. MSL and Rubino there to help him out fast, actually. And now it's going to be a great spray down coming through. No one going down. MSL with the triple kill. Ties up the scoreline at 13-13. And moving into the 27th round.
Very much like the previous map of Cobblestone, we are going down to the wire. Would not be surprised if we hit the 30th round here again. Both teams solid buy. How the spawn's looking. Cajun actually had a really good spawn for mid if he so chose, but instead he goes up long and allowing Magic to play aggressively. You've seen him smoke and then pop flash his way out, but this time I'm not going to be taking any chances. Understandable when you're at this sort of a stage in the game. You don't want to throw away any lives, potentially gift-wrapped the enemy team around.
Magisk, this is a dangerous position to be in. They're all coming around the corner. He picks up the first headshot. Not going to go for the second one. Snacks will take him out. And Cajun had already fallen back. He couldn't really help him out up at the corner there. So a little bit unfortunate, because if Cajun could have been there once Magic gets the first kill, if Cajun is there to re-peek with the AWP, it's very hard for Virtus.pro to punish that kind of a setup. Didn't really work out that way.
The unfortunate thing for Dignitas is they've lost their top fragger by quite some margin. He's on 27. So that trade, not only favoring the T's in terms of manpower, but also the importance, the MVP almost for Dignitas. Bialy with the next one. Rubino's in the perfect position to strike. Can't transfer for the second spray down, and that could be the moment where VP take the round. And indeed it should be. Config on the other side of the map, quite literally, has a lot of ground to make up. Is he even interested in going for this?
If only he could find an AWP somewhere to try and save, I think that would be preferable. There is money on Dignitas, thankfully. They can still buy in the next round. That's very important here, but Config actually is moving closer. I don't see them walking out of the bomb site without realizing where he is. They got to find him before they start running away. He does have a kit, so if they were careless, maybe he could get a sneaky defuse in, but it's not going to happen this time. 13-14. And Virtus.pro 2 rounds away from making it to the grand finals.
Yeah, I was curious if he'd go for it, because although they can get a buy, it's going to be a lack of grenades on a couple of plays. I feel like maybe an AWP would have been more beneficial for Dignitas, but they went for it. Can definitely respect that. If we get through into the latter stage of the round, though, I think Dignitas will be struggling for grenades. So let's see how this one plays out. Pasha, aggression, will be leading the charge all the way up to short already. Rubino has spotted a couple players. He doesn't get tagged for his info. So decent passage of play for Dignitas in the early stages of round 28.
Jumping for information. Not as safe as it used to be, but people still do it a lot, and we see them get punished on a regular basis. Boost going to be coming up. Bialy on the other side, and he's ready for it. Takes down Rubino. What a big risk to take. Did not pay off.
That seems nuts to me when he saw 2 or 3 players there before. Like, even if you get the info, there's still over a minute to play with. It doesn't really tell you anything.
Definitely risky. Now, MSL falling back, Config on the side, down by Monster Tunnel. They're gonna have to go huge here. He sprays down one, Config with the kill as well. Pistols out for MSL. He's doing the damage, but not getting the kill, and Config gonna die as well. It's Cajun and Magic left, 2 on 3. Spray from one there. Cajun taking down Taz. Bomb ticking away, but only just been planted. Neo with a great headshot coming through. And Magic sprays down one. He's got the M4 and 14 bullets. Bialy almost catching him, dropping down mid-air. A couple of bullets would take care of Magic here. He's going to have to land the headshot. He's at a huge disadvantage, and he's going to go down. Triple kill for the young Polish player, who is on top of the scoreboard at 29 kills. 15 to 13.
And look at the buy-unders. It's pistols. I think the crowd is letting us know who their favorites are right now. And it's looking like they could convert this Anders for the last round, potentially, of this best of 3. It's pistols and a few nades and not much more.
Magic moving up very aggressively here. He's got the 5-7 in hand, walking right into Taz on the other side. Grenade was followed up there. There's going to be the headshot to start off. That's a really nice start. And more aggression coming out. Cajun dropping one, leaving a trapped Neo over along with the bomb. Snack's going to be going down. What are we witnessing now? Neo, the last one left. You know, 1 on 4. Dignitas deciding it is not over yet. They want to fight and they want to continue to battle into overtime. And the money for Virtus.pro, if they lose this round, which it certainly feels like they will, they're going to have just as bad a situation as Dignitas just did.
I'm so surprised that Dignitas got away with that. They've done this before with assault rifles. VP were just sat in positions where no one was watching the fountain. Neo very nearly lands the second one, will through the wall. And now with this smoke, he can get the bomb planted. The problem is, Dignitas have a lot of grenades still at their disposal. Kevlar and AKs. So we've seen Neo pull off clutches. We know this guy is an unreal talent. Can he put that talent to use?
They have 2 smokes left, and that's a really big problem for Neo because he has a Molotov, and I bet he would love to use it to buy time, but they've already smoked out the bomb. There's another headshot coming through. He'd have to go for the ace clutch into winning the semifinals here, looking for another spray. Neo's going to get it. He goes for more. Spray for the one. He's out of bullets. Neo! Are you kidding me? He picks it up. Ace clutch right into the grand finals.
What a match of Counter-Strike. What a way to end. VP take it 2-1. Up and down, all the way through. Dignitas must be devastated. But VP jubilant. What a performance.
Absolutely ridiculous. An ace in the pistol. And then bringing his team into a fight against Cloud9 in the grand finals here at DreamHack Bucharest. A legendary player, one of the greatest of all time in Counter-Strike. And this is what he does, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm still in shock at what we just witnessed. Think about that round. Magix comes out, lands a couple pistol frags, everything's looking fantastic. It looks like we're going to overtime potentially, then Neo strikes again.
You can hardly believe it. That is a very rare quality. There are not many people in the world who could possibly do that. But Dignitas, they put up the smoke. They realize there could be Molotov potential. They really try and play it as best as they can. He even runs out of bullets, and nothing could stop him, it seemed, at the end there. That's, I mean, that's got to be one of the best clutches we've seen of the tournament, even maybe for a while. That's impressive.
Oh, absolutely. Everything was stacked against Neo, and he just went ham. I mean, how do you even analyze that clutch?
I don't know. I think Dignitas, again, it's been just a story of them having very, very many opportunities, and it's a good thing that they keep getting into positions where they can, you know, win whole games, but some of them they don't convert, and this time it's simply too many. Losing both the subsequent round after winning the pistol, it's just too much. You know, if they'd won either one of those, you know, following rounds, then this would be it. They'd be in the grand finals. Incredible stuff. We are ready down on the main stage with Parla and the one and only Neo.
Ladies and gentlemen, your second finalists here are Virtus.pro. And oh my God, Neo, what just happened at the end of that game? If you can, try your best to just run us through that 1v4 clutch.
Well, I still have no idea what's going on after that round. But Actually, I pretty knew what was going on the map. They pushed a lot of places, so they had a hole in the defense. So I knew how to use that and was lucky.
It was absolutely beautiful. The crowd went wild. We went wild backstage, and it was a pleasure to see. Just overall thoughts on that series. Did it go the way you thought it would? Dignitas, maybe you could have closed it out in the second map?
I didn't expect that good Mirage from our side. We've been struggling against Dignitas for a while now. But yeah, Cobble should have been ours. And yeah, it was great. Great game. Dignitas is an awesome team, improving, very young, and they're going to be very strong in the future.
Awesome words. And now, finally, because I don't want to take too much of your time, you'll be in the final very shortly against Cloud9. Can you give me your opinion on them and how that match could possibly go?
Well, just like Dignitas, they're becoming better and better team. We can see them improving pretty fast, and it's going to be a hell of a game, especially after that one, very long and tight one. But we'll do our best, as always.
There we go, Neo. That was an absolute honor to watch that performance by you right at the end. And I think it sets up perfectly for the final. Let's head over to Alex and the guys on the desk to get some analysis on what has just transpired.
Neo still a little shaky after that one. I don't blame him. We were just watching in disbelief and awe. I'm still kind of a little aghast that did go down the way it did, especially after Dignitas picking it up on the kind of the Essential Force by Pistols and Kevlar. Man, that was a good game. I am being a fanboy. Sorry, let me introduce our analyst desk once again. I've got Yanko and Chad Sponge Birchall hanging out. So, gents, we have our grand final locked in, but what a wild ride that was. It looked at one point we was going to 0 Mirage. We thought it was all falling into pieces. Where do we start with this one, Yanko? Want to start at the beginning?
I mean, we can start at the beginning, but somehow you feel that it was all revolving around that third map.
Yeah.
To be honest, Mirage, Neo said it himself, didn't expect them to have such a strong performance, but I feel like they had a perfect idea of how Dignitas likes to play their T-side, something that Chad mentioned in the pre-show as well, and they were really adamant about fighting them for that mid-control on Mirage and were really aggressive in their play.
Yeah, look, after a fisting like that on Mirage, to go into Cobble and be able to put up a decent result, though, and take it to a third, Dig were pretty resilient. However, you know, Overpass was such a close map that they're going to be heartbroken right now, but it was a fantastic game and great for everybody to watch, so.
I mean, Dignitas on Overpass, they win both pistols, lose the second round both times, lose an anti-eco in the second half as well, and they still managed to make it an extremely close game and lose the game by losing a 1v5. Pretty much to Neo, so you have to give them props for making it so close, but you also have to wonder, what if, right? What if they only secured a 3-0 start in one of those halves? They would probably be the ones winning, but that's what ifs, and you have to give props for VP for managing to bring it back in those rounds, which are extremely hard to win.
And that's a dangerous game to play if you're, you know, as Dignitas, you know that those what ifs are going to be going around in your mind all day and all night tonight. But the real kind of victory is that, I mean, can we start with talking about Mirage and just how ridiculously clinical that was?
Okay, so as I addressed in the pre-show, if you play aggressive against the mid control and you're taking, you know, other map territory, you're taking the fight to them in mid, it's very easy to disrupt. And once you get on top of the economy and the mid control's not working, it's hard to go back and do late round executes because they're going to keep pushing and you're worried about them having all the info before you execute. And you saw that happening, and they also exploited Rubinho in Palace a couple times. They pushed on in, they took him out. And everything was working for VP. So, like you said, definitely a clinical performance, and everyone was showing up. Everyone was making the frags for VP.
Now, do we come back to that veto discussion about Mirage being chosen by Dignitas? Is that something that's worth discussing, Yanko, the fact that they did make that executive decision?
I mean,
that was their first pick, and they got 16 forward on it.
That's true. I mean, you can always go back to it and wonder whether it would be a better decision for them to go for Dust 2, perhaps, right? I mean, I think there's not much point talking about it because that's a decision they consciously made, obviously, right? They thought they have a good gameplay. Maybe you were right in saying that they were baited a little bit, but by their good performances on Mirage against VP online, but...
You can see, though, like, Cobble and Mirage, like, so Cobble used to be very good for Dignitas, and they've dropped off a bit. And VP used to be very good at Mirage, and they've dropped off a bit. And then they both just, you know, came through on their old maps, I suppose.
That's actually a nice way to think about it. Cobblestone, though, I do want to just quickly take the opportunity to address this one, because that was probably the closest. I mean, yes, Overpass, but you've already highlighted that could very well have swung much more in one way or the other. But Cobble, 16-14, right down to the wire. Was there anything that you observed that was working particularly well for Virtus.pro in order to kind of flex their muscles a bit. Chad, I know you were a big fan of the way they approached some of their T sides.
Yeah, I think they were doing a lot of the stuff that we've talked about before with them and Cobble, doing the 4 corridor, A long walk and that kind of stuff. But I think the drop zone has been weakened for Dignitas since Kirby has been removed from the team. There used to be a good crossfire with Rubinho and Kirby at drop, and that was a weaker point. And when you have a player like Snacks who likes to exploit drop, he was taking advantage of that. I think 5 rounds, you know, obviously it was good enough. They were able to get that win. The CT side, MSL was making some great calls. They were making some great reads, and I think he and his calls pushed them across the line, obviously with Raga helping.
Now, to look at the stats, just to get our head around exactly who was performing, I think it's going to be hard not to think Neo takes the MVP for that one play alone over on Overpass. But just look at the numbers, it does look like it was a wow, Magic Boy. I'm glad we had a look at this because we were singing his praises over in the green room, and I wasn't actually going to address his name. Now I see it though, 70 for him. That was the number that we saw NBK drop in his best of 3 that made him, was one of his best top 5 career performances. So maybe that could be the same title given to Magic after that one. 70 for him, 64 for Bialy as well, not too far on his heels. Any other things you kind of identify here? No one really severely underperforming.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much it's been dependent from map to map. It's great to see Magic have such a strong performance against a team like VP in the semifinal, right? That proves that he can perform at this level, and that's a great sign from Dignitas because we've seen already, you know, players like Cajun can do it, Config as well every now and then. I also think it's really important to, again, point out Neo, not only the 1v5, he had the 1v3 pistol round on Mirage, on T side as well. And the thing is, you just have that feeling whenever Neo is an unfavorable position on paper, even in a 1v3, you somehow feel he has the advantage. No matter what, you feel like, yeah, he's probably going to win this. And that's now coming simply because of his intelligence, right? His game sense, not so much from his aim, because in 1.6, Neo, it was always a discussion between Neo and Forest, who's the best player in the world in 1.6, right? In CSGO, it's a different story, the mechanics are different, so he has to rely on his game sense to put himself in favorable position. And I think he's one of the most fun players to watch when he's left in clutch situation. The way he works, the way you see his brain work and how he makes decisions, I think it's just beautiful.
And I mean, that's the prime example. We had a discussion just yesterday on the desk about, you know, what makes you a good player, and we said yes, there's aim, but there's also brain. I think Neo is probably a prime example of a player that just, I mean, you used Flusher before, Neo probably straight on that top of that list as well. Closing thoughts though as we wave goodbye to Dignitas, Chad. They have made it to the semi-finals and put a real good effort versus Virtus.pro. What have we learned from the Danes in their performance here in Bucharest?
I think they're still on the rise. That's probably one of the harder teams that they've versed recently, and they put up a great performance. We now can see 3 stars in that team quite clearly, Magic, Config, and Cajun B. So they're looking really good for the future. And Virtus, you know, solid as ever, coming off the back of that disappointment in Kiev. But, you know, moving forward, they're in the final.
They're in the final, and I mean, they have already stated that Kiev is a write-off.
Never happened.
Never happened in their books, and nor in ours or here on the desk, because they've made it to the grand final here for the DreamHack ZOWIE.
I wish I could say that for some of things I did in my career.
Okay. I thought you were going to say things I did in Kiev. I was like, wow, he partied hard. Right, so let's just quickly kind of give these guys a taste of what they have to look forward to, because our grand final is locked in. If you haven't catched, but I just catched myself there. But if you haven't caught all of the action, you can go ahead and, of course, remind you that Cloud9 are joining them in the grand final. The North Americans fought valiantly in their semi-final. We did get to see them again. If we bring up the groups now, it's all done. It's all locked in. We can quickly show you the whole journey of the DreamHack ZOWIE Open, because that is where we are at. It is now going to be Cloud9 clashing with Virtus.pro in a best of 3. They fought through Envious, and that was I mean, we've had 2 fantastic semi-finals. Like, if you think about it, sometimes you get a bit of a deflating semi, but we actually get 2 solid games, and now we have ourselves a grand final locked in. that was unintentional.
Deflating semi.
Deflating semi. And on that bombshell, boys, I think we're ready to go. All right, you good? Any closing thoughts for the grand final? Want to tease anyone? Get them hyped for it? Yanko, can you give them a little taste of what to look forward to?
Let's see if Cloud9 can make America great again.
Ooh, okay. See if he can make, America great again. And someone that actually makes Australia great again is Sponge. So before we do disappear off to a break, let's have a quick look at a video with Sponge.
This is going to be terrible.
I have no idea what this is.
Are we going?
Our word on the street is we had something... hello? Sponge?
Yes.
Do you hear us?
Might just be enough for Dignitas to hold the round. Sponge gonna go on the rotation coming down now from B, but Kirby is already staring in this direction. Smoke out now as well. They're ready for this play based on the timing. Kirby looks away at the wrong moment though. Sponge gonna capitalize and a huge shot on the second one.
After I retired from professional Counter-Strike, I wanted to continue to stay in the industry, and I was looking for ways that I could do that. And being an analyst at events, I thought was something that I could add to. And there's not many ex-pro players who are analysts at the moment, and I was available and I can talk, and a bit of fun. I feel as an in-game leader, I have good knowledge of the game, and I think I have something to offer the community with my brain.
Now, we've just been trying to get our swagger back. Nothing was telling us we need to walk with a bit of attitude. We need to get back to the original Renegades Vox Eminor vibe that we had, and if we can bring that, we're going to trash these American noobs.
I think it's very Australian to be honest, and I think that's the way I was brought up. You want to speak your mind, you don't want to sugarcoat things, and you want to say how it is and how you feel. You don't want to be two-faced and lie about things or, misconstrue the truth. Some people probably won't like me being overly honest, and as someone who is on the receiving end of flack from analysts, I guess I can sympathise with them. It's been fun so far. It's a bit of a whirlwind. It's a long days, and I got to talk a lot. I'm usually pretty good at that, but it's good fun.
That was a little special treat. I didn't know that was coming.
Things. I'm looking really fat, and I need to get a tan. So.
I actually preferred your hair in that interview.
Favoritism, of course.
It looks good. It looks good then. Like kind of the surfer look.
Oh, all over the place.
Yeah, I missed that.
I moved away from that because I thought I
Bring
needed
it
to
back.
look a bit. You reckon?
Can we please
Old.
discuss which sponge haircut do you like more? This is important. Hashtag DH Open.
Not again,
I want
Alex.
photos. I want specifics. Give me dates.
You can check out my
times.
old stats on the Score Esports, by the way. So check that out. When I was a player, they're pretty bad, but they should be there.
Available on your smartphone device, iOS and Google Play. New stats, articles, and more. Boom. There it is. You just did it for me.
You need to
appreciate
tie
it.
your
I got you covered.
You need to glue your two fingers together so you can't do the hashtag.
Do you know what? I don't know where it even came from. I think I've just got some weird obsession now with it. I can't really break away. But
With your fingers.
I have an obsession with my fingers after the deflating semi. So,
Live long and prosper, Alex.
live long and prosper, whatever it is. We're having a great time here at the DreamHack ZOWIE Open. Before we do lose our jobs, we should probably go ahead and take a break. But the grand final is locked in. You will have an opportunity to take a break yourself. Cuz, let me just check my watch. How long have they got? You've got about half an hour, if my watch is correct, until the grand final does kick off. So go make yourself a cup of tea. Maybe eat if you've just been watching CS all day. Go get some sustenance. And when you do come back, you have an opportunity to watch some fantastic world-class Counter-Strike live from Bucharest. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And we're bringing you the grand final in just a moment. 30 minutes before we do begin the pre-show to talk about that grand final. C9 will be taking on Virtus.pro. It should be brilliant. We hope to see you there. Woo!